coaster series. Who gets the upper hand tonight?
All right, Vegas. Come on.
Svechnikov in front. Here's a chance. Svechnikov scores! One win away from the Stanley Cup. Brandon Bussey and the Carolina Hurricanes take Game 5.
Shout out to CC and the Darcys for that little tease. It's been 268 days since they dropped the puck on preseason. That was back September 20th in Dallas. Between then and now, all that preamble to tonight. The cup for the first time could be handed out tonight, and you know those fans are the ones who want it, and those fans do not. Craig Simpson's 88 Oilers got there in 18 games. 16 wins in 18 games. That's the fastest trip to Stanley. Now, if Carolina were to do it tonight, they'd be the second quickest in 19 games. Really remarkable what they've done. Superhuman effort by Jordan Staal. He is like Clark Kent, only it's a C instead of an S. And he said, Brind'Amour, it's all about respect, which is a decision as well as an emotion. Congratulations to them. Put themselves in the position with Jennifer Kelly and Kevin. John Tortorella has decisions. David and Elliot, over to you.
All right, yeah, well, first of all, I should say there's a lot of Carolina Hurricanes fans here. We just saw Brandon Bussey's family walk by, his agent. A lot of anticipation about what this night could hold for Carolina. As far as John Tortorella and Vegas goes, facing elimination and facing life moving forward without William Karlsson, what does that mean, Elliot?
We believe we're going to see Riley Smith. We know one change for sure. Karlsson is out, and we are expecting that Riley Smith will go in. Now, Smith skated earlier before the other group of scratches, potential scratches for Vegas. And here's what's unique about that, David. Dylan Coghlan skated this morning, and Keegan Colasar skated this morning. So it's opened up the possibility that those two players could be scratches. We don't know for sure, but Colasar in particular would be a stunner.
Something to keep an eye on for the pregame skate in just a matter of moments. So Vegas, changes expected. Carolina, no changes expected, specifically off the ice because it's that time of year. Superstitions ride high.
So we're not expecting changes with the lineup, and we're not expecting it with the wardrobe either. Now keep an eye on Martinook. Watch for Sebastian Aho too. So some of the Carolina players, not all of them, have a tradition. If they only wear clothes from games they won. Here are examples. Players wearing the same clothes that you just saw. Martinook, same clothes, game 4 that you saw before. Aho, same suit that you saw before. So Carolina wins game number 5. Here today are their entrances for game number 6. Walker, still the same. Aho, still the same. Martinook, still the same. We can't, it's not everybody, but the number of players are only wearing the clothes. And this is why we always change. We never win a broadcast, so we always have to wear a different suit.
I've been out with you for 6 weeks. I've used some more in this a couple of times. I know that. All right. Meanwhile, there was some chatter that Carter Hart might not play tonight, that John Tortorella would go to Aiden Hill, but that's not happening.
No.
He said it's going to be Carter Hart. It hasn't been a goaltending series for either team, really, though, has it?
Well, if you look at the numbers, statistically, this series has the lowest save percentage combined for everybody in Stanley Cup final recent memory. Now, in the salary cap era, I do remember that one in 2010.
Yeah.
When someone asked what was the lowest, I believed it was that one, Niemi, Lawton, and Boucher. But this one is 19 points below it. Hart, Bussey, and Anderson. And Bussey's been great. He's put Carolina back on the path and given them a chance to close out tonight. But overall, it's the lowest save percentage Stanley Cup final in the cap era.
And maybe Brandon Bussey coming in was a bit of a turning point, Ron. In fact, the Canes have won both games with him starting. They've outscored Vegas 13-6 since Bussey entered this series. So it is an incredible storyline for a guy who, again, was on waivers back in October.
And you're so right. You can hear the murmur behind us. It's all Carolina fans. It's crazy here at the Fortress right now. And to hear Elliot, you saying "Still the Same" over and again, that's the song by, I know, not very original, is he? Bob Seger, "Still the Same's the gambling song you always won every time you placed a bet. So that's kind of wild. All right, the power play.
Well, quickly though, Riley Smith coming in, that's the obvious one. But I think if Kolesar sits, I would be surprised about that, first of all. But that would tell me that Vegas values offense, and they're thinking to win this game tonight, we need to score a little bit more goals, and we're going to give up the physicality of Kolesar. So one of the reasons they have to score more goals is because the Carolina power play has emerged in this series. Coming in 12.5%, they're Svechnikov in the Stanley Cup final, 37.5, and they've figured out the Vegas penalty kill. They didn't start the series like this. They actually started kind of, a little scrambly, but the shot from the point from Gostisbehere, I told you, he's been making the decisions when to shoot it, when to find the flanks, and he keeps getting better and better with his reads, and they're taking advantage of some of these, and they're starting to get more comfortable. In Game 4, they had a lot of looks, or Game 5, a lot of looks, a lot of clean zone entries, the interchanges, everything just looks so much more comfortable now for the power play, and they're rewarded. Svechnikov got 2 goals, but it wasn't just the goals, it was the entries, the breakouts, and understanding sometimes they set up the drop, and sometimes they cut it off. It's almost like an option. Here, they kick it out, and the automatic rim here, let it go. To me, that tells me they've watched a ton of video, and they've taken advantage of a few of the details, like Marner and Howden like to be over-aggressive. And if you want, just take a full ice 3-on-2. Typically, power plays don't want to just take a 3-on-2 full ice because they feel like they can get better.
So now you think back to the production that these two guys have had. It was constant, even before the Stanley Cup final. Throughout the entire postseason, these guys needed to find their game, and they have done so with the play of Martinook, and just an excellent read by Rod Brind'Amour to know what these guys needed. And now coming into Game 6, when you can clinch, you're coming off a game where 3 or 4 goals were scored by Aho and Svechnikov.
And Ron, you mentioned Jordan Staal, and if I'm a Vegas defenseman, I'm terrified when he's in on the forecheck because of his size, 6'4", 220 pounds. Take a look what he's done in these finals. 6 goals, Bossy, Gretzky, and Reinhart, only ones that have scored more in the final. And as I mentioned, it's on that forecheck. You go back to Game 4. Look at this heavy forecheck. Theodore behind the net. He knows he's going to get hit, throws it away, goes to Jarvis. Hart with the save, but now watch Vegas. All 4 guys going to go in the corner, looking for the puck. Staal comes from behind the net. Ehlers gets it to him, and a bit of an awkward backhand, still able to get it over the glove. And then it's 1-1 or 1-0. Last game, here's heavy forecheck. Kev, you mentioned, now he has body position on McNabb, goes to the front of the net, and gets a return pass again from Ehlers. He is doing it all, and as you mentioned, Ron, it's all about respect. Rod Brind'Amour loves his captain. Why wouldn't you?
We're going to hear from Rod Brind'Amour. We're going to hear from Jordan Staal, and we're going to hear from Eric Staal. Hopefully, DA and Elliot have lined that up as well. All-time leading scorer in Stanley Cup Finals competition with 8 points. Eric, the former captain, on Hockey Central next.
The Stanley Cup Final on Sportsnet. Presented by Instacart. Groceries just how you like.
With Rogers Xfinity Internet, I can game like a pro. See that home run, Steins? Yeah, I'm thinking of giving up acting, actually, and doing more sports-type stuff.
Not gonna happen, kid.
How do you know?
I know.
Thought this was a safe space.
When it all comes together, it could mean you're ready to talk to your doctor about Wegovy. Ask for Wegovy by name. Visit wegovy.ca for savings.
You can pick up your car at your hotel. You can pick up your car in short-term parking. You can even pick up your car at Arrivals. You can pick up your rental car in Lot 2, Section H, Space 45. Uh-oh, it's actually back that way. For the right car, right where you need it. Rent a car, not a rental car.
What went we out into this wilderness to find? Leaving our country, our fathers' houses. For what? For the kingdom of God.
Daniel! You've cursed this family. Who's there?
Let us pray.
The Witch on CBC Gem.
At Asante Wealth Management, we don't believe in shortcuts. Your financial success should be nurtured year after year after year. And your relationship with your advisor should be no different. Built on understanding, trust, and time. When you succeed, we succeed with you. That's what you deserve. That's what we promise. Asante, all success is personal.
So, tell me what you want, what you really, really want.
Yo, I'll tell you what I want, what I really, really want. Yo!
Subway's new wannabe spicy menu. From mild to wild to wicked. All freshly prepared on new ghost pepper bread. How spicy do you want to be?
You know, the closer you look, the more Canadian Moosehead gets. Seriously. Get in here, let me show you something. See that? It literally has A in the name. This whole time. Moosehead. Canadian is our middle name.
Check, check. Purchase a Mobil One 4.73-liter jug and get a free NHL keychain and an Esso gift card. Visit mobil1promotion2026.ca. Back on Hockey Central, presented by Instacart, with an interview presented by Campbell River Tourism. Kyle and Rod Brindamore.
Thanks, Ron. Rod, first of all, how'd you sleep last night?
Not been much sleep this playoffs, but, you know, that's okay. We're one of the last teams standing, and obviously we got a huge night here.
When you first took this job, you believed that Carolina was a place that could win. So being this close to it now, what's the feeling like knowing this is what you...
You know, you don't want to get ahead of it, and so it's about trying to win the next game here. And obviously there's a lot of stakes, and we all know that. No one needs to be reminded of what's on the line, but we don't want to get ahead of it. We got to do what we have to do to try to win, and it's going to be a battle. We know that. All these games have been, you know, a play here or there from going either way, and we got to try to stay as focused as possible.
Jordan Staal mentioned as a young player in 2009, the older guys with Pittsburgh, the way they made him calm and comfortable did wonders for him. What's it been like kind of watching him pay it forward?
Yeah, well, I think you're right. The guys that have kind of been here before, and I know we haven't got to this stage, but have just playoff savvy, have played long into the summer here. Or, you know, like they get how to go about their business, and that's what I expect here again.
Rod, good luck.
Right,
thank you.
Thank you.
Ron.
Thank you, gentlemen. You saw Carter Hart moved first, and then Brandon Bussey, so the goaltenders count.
Okay, so we kind of debated post-game after the loss by Vegas last game. Would you maybe go to Aiden Hill, or would you stick with Carter Hart? And I think John Tortorella post-game answered it very clearly when he was asked if he ever thought of putting Hill in after the second period, and he said something like, that's a stupid question. So moving at that point, we knew there was going to be Carter Hart, and if I'm the starting goalie like Carter Hart, that gives me a lot of confidence that my coach put an end to that right after that game. He's not a chance. We're sticking with Hart. Even though his numbers don't look very good, his save percentage, .858 in this series, I am going to kind of defend him a little bit. I don't think he's played that poorly. Now, maybe they feel Aiden Hill, because he hasn't played in a while, they've lost him a little bit, but I like the idea, guys, I don't know what you think, but I like the idea he put all his support behind Hill.
I just think it would be a desperation move, and you would only do that if you're Tortorella if you think you weren't the better team in the series. I think there's been a lot of this series where Vegas has been the better team, and maybe the message that you're sending to Carolina, you put Aiden Hill in, who hasn't played all playoffs. I don't know. I think I would like that if I was Carolina. You chase their number one. You would feel better about yourself going into this game.
And I think with Hart, it's too late in the series at this point to make the switch. And in Hart's defense, if you look back, especially at the last couple of games, yes, his numbers are not good, but they could have been far better in terms of the coverage coverage in front of him. You think, well, it's worked for Carolina to make the goaltender switch, but you cannot compare the seasons that Adin Hill has had in terms of missing time. He didn't get the wins or the numbers that Bussy had for Carolina. So a very different situation. It has to be hard. And Tortorella has always been about instilling this resiliency and confidence within his roster.
So Jen, stay with Vegas and the line changes.
And the line changes. Well, we know Karlsson's out, which is a huge loss for the Vegas Golden Knights. And so we think about what are some adjustments. You think about what happened in Game 5 after Karlsson left, and the lines had to go into a bit of a blender. Here's one element in terms of Tortorella's approach. He did load up on that star-studded line with Eichel and Marner and Stone, far more than he had in any previous game in the Stanley Cup final. So, to me, they were a line that looked dangerous every time they were on the ice together. They look like they love playing with each other. So, that's the question mark, right, Cal? I mean, do you move Marner? He certainly played at center in the regular season, but in my opinion, he's found his best game in the playoffs when he's been on the wing. So, to me, you keep him on the wing. I like the idea of loading up because that line was so dangerous.
I would agree with you, Jen. I love that line, and I thought Marner, he's been terrific on the wing with Eichel and Stone. I will say this, though. There's a part of me, I thought about this when I heard Karlsson's out for lots of the series. Maybe I put Marner back in the middle because the connection that he and Dorofeev have had throughout the season. Even Marner talks about Dorofeev and one of the best goal scorers he's ever played with. And maybe I put in, and we think it's Riley Smith most likely. Maybe he's on the other wing. Two finishers, and that's what Marner usually likes.
It's Barbashev, Howden, and Marner right now taking line rushes, and Howden's actually lined up as a centerman. So I don't know if that's mind games or not, but who knows? Somebody has to play center because William Karlsson is a great centerman for him. So somebody has to go out of their position. If you put Sissons there, well, now you're elevating him. So let's say Howden does play center. I think the reason for this might be to get him on the ice more. He was a little bit low in his ice time last game. And for a guy who leads the playoffs with 14 goals, I wouldn't say he carries play when he's on the ice, but he has the ability to make a game-breaking play and score a game-breaking goal in a one-on-one effort. So for that reason, in a series where they've kind of been outscored the last two by a lot, get him on the ice more.
As you all know, whoever is at center has to face Jordan Staal. What a story he is forging right now. Could set a record by scoring in 6 consecutive games. Here he comes to Kyle Bukauskas. Kyle, to you.
Jordan, it's clear so many of your teammates look to you for guidance. How did you go about setting the tone for your group today?
Just acting like it's another game, another big moment, another chance at going 1-0 and take it one shift at a time, one play at a time, and we'll go from there.
Just looking around the dressing room before warm-ups, what stood out to you?
The boys are excited, ready to rock. They look comfortable, and we're excited to get this thing going.
It's noticeable. There's a lot of red in the crowd here in Vegas. What does that mean to you?
That's Caniac, man. They come out in numbers, and they supported us all year long, and I'm not surprised they're here.
Thanks very much, Jordan. Good luck. Ron.
Terrific. David Elliott, what have you got over there?
All right, not just Caniacs, but friends and family. Eric Staal, 20 years ago, as a 21-year-old rookie, you led Carolina to the Stanley Cup, and here you are now, your brother, 37 years of age. How surreal is it watching what he's doing this year?
He doesn't look 37 when you're watching him right now. He's dialed. It's been fun to watch. Obviously, these guys are in a groove. Obviously, the opportunity is really, really big tonight, but hopefully they just remain focused. Like he said in that interview, it's one shift at a time, that mentality you have to have in these moments, and hopefully they can get it done tonight.
You don't look like you've aged a day either, I gotta tell you. You look great.
I'm a little thicker than I was back in the day, but I'm trying to hang in there.
You guys have a group chat of the brothers?
Yeah.
So what's it like? Like, when do you guys text?
Yeah, I mean, playoff runs, it's usually after every game. It's not anything super complicated. I mean, this time of year, it's so much of the game, it's mental. It's between the years. It's how do you reset? It's how do you focus on what you need to do better the next game, regardless if you win or lose. And I think it's like setting that mind right after the game. And we have a group chat. We've been doing that all playoff long. And, I just hope that tonight, for his mind and the rest of the guys on his team, it's being able to get the job done tonight.
And Eric, Elliott mentioned Mark in the group chat with the brothers. We saw Mark out last night. There seemed to be like 20 people with him. How many Staal family and friends are out here with anticipation of what could be?
Well, all the brothers are here, Mark, myself, my youngest brother, Jared, and then we've all got the kids. My mom and dad are here. And then, you know, how it is when it's the Stanley Cup final, all the friends and family travel. You know, we came in from different places, but there was a lot that came from Raleigh, and obviously a lot of Caniacs too came. So they're going to have the support, and hopefully they, you know, play a great game tonight, but it's going to be a big challenge. Obviously, Vegas is an extremely good team. They've got guys that have been there, so it's going to take a big effort, but we'll see what happens.
You know, you look at the guys he's played against, the lines he's played against, the other centers, they've had 3 goals in the playoffs, 5-on-5 against your brother. Do you even look at this and say, this is better than I even thought he was?
I played against Jordan in 2009 in the conference finals, and I played against him pretty much every shift. I think I had 1 goal, or maybe 2, in 4 games, and we got swept, and they went on to win the Stanley Cup. So I know how hard it is to play against him. He is a very, very tough matchup. Obviously, he's getting the offensive side of the game going, but he has been that way for 20 years. That's how he plays the game. You know, obviously, this is a moment where he's got an opportunity to, you know, achieve the ultimate goal, and, you know, it's going to take a gargantuan effort. He knows that, they know that, but, you know, you can be proud of where he's at now, but you want to make sure you finish the job. But it's going to take a big effort from all his guys, including himself, and it's been fun to watch.
Eric, we only have a couple of seconds, Eric. Give me one word to describe this specific Stanley Cup final series so far.
Wild.
It has been wild.
It's been wild. Really fun to watch, entertaining. If you've never watched hockey, I mean, this is a great series to watch.
Well, it's great to have you in the building. Best of luck to you, your family, your brother tonight.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
All right, Ron.
What a great interview. Yes. Thank you, David Elliott, and thank you, Eric. Jordan would be the oldest ever to win the Conn Smythe. David, I think, has him as the odds-on favorite to win that.
It's already placed his bet.
That's right. Tim Thomas, 2011, currently is the oldest at 37 and a bit.
Great.
Okay, so Rod Brindamore yesterday talked about Jordan. He said, for sure, everybody's excited about the goals, but he's always been a great player. He's always done all that other stuff. He said in the 32 teams in the playoffs and in the league, they all pretty much play the same game. Mentally, they all know how to set their mind right. He said there's one factor nobody really considers, and this is that.
So you take a lot of heat because we haven't won or got to the finals. Like, I know why we didn't get to the finals. I know you got to be healthy. It's interesting to think now, like, you just look at my lineup right now, we're a pretty healthy group. It's a big deal. And you look back at those last so many years, a lot of key pieces missing. Well then, you know, so I don't think you want to change what you're doing when you were missing some really big pieces. What it would have been like if you could keep them together. And at this time of year, that's so most teams that win stay healthy. It's been a big deal for us.
So I remember Wayne Gretzky saying in the years he won 4 cups in Edmonton, never had injuries. 1. Kevin Lowe played in a playing cast. That's it. All right, lines. Vegas, we're watching warm up here. Kev, why don't you start us on that?
Well, it looks like Howden is going to play center, and apparently Marner prefers to play the wing. He's more comfortable there. He's obviously had success there. Riley Smith comes in. He's a left-hand shot. He'll play on the right side. And Braden Bowman from Kitchener, Ontario, he's going to slot in for Kolesar. Kind of my theory about they value goals. He's a power play guy. He's got 2 power play goals this year for Vegas.
Well, then you think about this D. Coughlin out has made a few errors in the Stanley Cup Finals, so Korczak is now in on that 3rd pair. But you look at those forward lines, so that's still a pretty loaded top 6 for the Vegas Golden Knights. And you're coming off where Dorofiev's now found some success as of late. They needed to get him going, but now you've got an opportunity. I also think about Riley Smith on that 3rd line. You think about how motivated he is now to get into the lineup and to have his impact felt, Cal.
Well, I just think the way that Tortorella coaches too, it could be mixed up after about 5 minutes again, right? Because he can definitely make adjustments. As we said, I saw last game where he loaded up that top line. I just think right now it's how warm-up's going, but I just don't see it lasting if Vegas falls behind at all.
Brandon Bussey, Kelly, imagine being in his skates tonight.
Okay, so we'll know if he's nervous because there are signs of it. So when you look at the shot clock chart by Vegas, so it's pretty even. Nothing really stands out that they're targeting one specific area. But what is the scouting report on Brandon Bussey? His glove good, angles great, rebound control can be a problem. So we have seen that in this series. I talked about it. Take a look at those glove saves though. This was key in the 3rd period last game. 2 incredible glove saves to start that period. But we talked about how sometimes he can get on his heels And when he does, and I really feel it's when he feels the pressure, he can be flopping around there. So we'll watch for that. And he's 27 years old. I think this is one of the reasons why he hasn't been in the NHL a little bit earlier, because he's still working on that rebound control.
What's the one word we've used talking about Bussy since he's been in?
Fresh.
You wrote it down. You wrote it down, and grateful. Grateful.
That's right.
That's why I don't think he's nervous. That's why I think he's enjoying it. He's watched this whole run from the sidelines. He's grateful to be involved.
I also feel like that assertive play, he's cut down a lot of the high danger shots because of his positioning.
Hockey Central presented by Instacart. Game 6 coming up.